なやつに。ダメ。今はこっち向いちゃダメだから。ねえ、前原。もし私が全部白状するって言ったら、話ちゃんと聞いてくれる？
聞くよ。
あと、この件文化祭が終わるまで待ってもらうってあり？
朝凪に任せるよ。
ありがとう。
So we just got done watching the second prettiest girl in my class. This was episode number 4. And the thing with this show is, or the thing with this episode, let me start off by saying that, is I don't think this was the most exciting episode, but it wasn't necessarily bad at all. It was definitely a, I would say, good episode of the show. I only really had one kind of standout moment when Mihara and Umei were kind of standing in front and they were doing like their first session where they kind of had to present to their class. They depicted Mihara in this very like, I don't even know how to really describe it because he's not really like a otaku like nerd character. He's just a loner who kind of just keeps to himself. He goes to school, he goes home, he kind of sticks to his own. He has his own routine. So he's not necessarily like this like outcast, even though they try to depict him as such. He's mostly a decent looking kid. He kind of has some decent fashion sense. He doesn't really put himself out there, definitely introverted. But the way that they depicted him in, you know, when Umei and Mihara were kind of in the beginning of the class was just like, you know, very just slumped shoulder, head down. And I just didn't really vibe with that. Not because I don't think that that is an impossibility for someone to feel that way. I just didn't feel like where Mihara in these 4 episodes had kind of grown to. I really didn't feel like that was an accurate depiction of where he was right now. I don't know if even that makes sense, but like that's the only thing I really didn't like when him and Asanagi were, you know, kind of doing their volunteer stuff. And obviously Asanagi took over and everything else, but you know, they just depicted him as just really weird, and that's kind of not the case. Which is evident later on in the episode because the girls who kind of, not even the girls, because they didn't really do anything, but part of the group in the class that was kind of reacting to having a, you know, partner with Mihara. A couple of the girls were talking to, I think it was either you or Umei. They were talking to one of them, but they're like, oh, I'm so sorry about Maki and whatever else. And the rest of the class ended up helping him and understanding him and reaching out to him. They didn't kind of make it a point to show that to us, but it definitely was there, right? When Mihara comes and yanks Asanagi away, Nita in the class and then the other class folks there, they kind of, they cover for him and they continue their project that they're doing. And a lot of what they ended up doing, you know, with doing like their soda can stuff was because of Mihara's plan. So it was just really conflicting, the before to the after, if that makes sense. And maybe you can call that growth. Maybe that was a growth moment for him. I don't really know. It's just really weird. The rest of the episode, though, what I did like about it was obviously Asanagi's holding on to some kind of jealousy when it comes to Amami. She's made that very clear over and over. But one thing that is clear too is at the end of the episode, 2 of the girls come from their middle school, elementary school. And you can just put the writing on the wall. It's pretty predictable. This is my guess. Again, don't quote me on it. I don't know if this was going to happen. But my guess is that Mihara probably heard those 2 girls that you or Amami considers friends talk crap about her. And she was in their friend group or friend circle. And they probably said something to the effect of like, oh, we only deal with Asanagi because we like Amami or something like that. So she's basically dealing with 2 bitches, basically. And next episode is going to be focused on whatever story that she's going to tell to Amami and to Mihara, where a lot of her insecurities come from is because of these girls and probably some others in their school who may have only associated with her because of Amami. And Amami is a pure-hearted angel who doesn't really realize that and wants to see the good in everybody to a point. So she probably never even realized, and that's gonna push her and Mihara, or push her and Umei's bond further together, and that's just gonna push Mihara closer to Umei because at the end of the day, Umi's his number one girl. He thinks about her all the time. Like, he's obviously very in love and everything else. So that's just gonna put those two closer. And I think he'll end up reaching out to her and quelling her fears and overcoming those insecurities the way that only he can to her, which is clear because, you know, in the episode when he asked her to about what was going on, he's like, if you don't want to share, you don't have to. He made a very point. She hugged him. They shared a moment. He later on asked her to hold hands in the episode. And obviously when Mihara was working on the stuff that he was working on, Umi made it a point to go and visit him again, just to kind of be in his being, be in his essence, be in his circle, so she could feel comfort and I don't know, happy, I guess you could say. So I thought that was really cute between them, and overall I thought the interactions in this episode were cute. I like that we found out that Amami has a secret talent, which is like illustration work, which I thought was really cool. And I like the class is project with the soda can stuff, thanks to Mihara's idea. I thought it was very unique to make an illustration out of soda cans with using the colors and stuff, and also doing recycling work and cleanup work and trash work, which is cool too. So overall, a good episode. I think this was an easy 7 out of 10. Again, not the most exciting episode in the world. At times a little boring, but I never paused the episode, which is, at least for me, that's a pretty good it's pretty good evidence that the show kind of kept my attention. So I never paused the episode, but I do want to acknowledge it was kind of boring at times. And with the Umi stuff, right? There is a little bit of there's a little forced drama there. You know, it's like, oh, your steak's too juicy, lobster's too buttery kind of deal. But you know, even the prettiest folks have their problems, which is what they're showing here. So yeah, 7 out of 10 is where I land for this one. This was pretty good. Sorry about this video being late, guys. I'm putting this review out a little bit later in the night. I had a work event today, so was not able to record this episode in the morning before work. Instead, I have to do this way after work. So depending when you're watching this, it might not even be late to you. So regardless, I'll see you guys next week for episode number 5. Yeah, I'll see you for episode number 5 next week. Peace.